The Liberal cabinet has given the green light for Canadian defense contractors to sell weapons to Ukraine in a watershed decision which a senior official of that country hopes will influence the Trump administration to follow suit. The embattled Eastern European country has been added to Canada's automatic firearms country control list. The decision was made on November 23, according to a cabinet order posted. It was released publicly on Wednesday, as the House of Commons prepared to rise for the Christmas break. The long-standing plea by the Ukrainian government was a feature of last fall's meeting between President Petro Poroshenko and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, right, speaks to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau during a signing ceremony in Kyiv, Ukraine, on July 11, 2016. From Lukatskaya Associated Press. The move puts Canada out ahead of the United States, which has been considering its own weapons sales. In a statement, Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland said the decision reflects closer ties between Canada and Ukraine. It is, however, expected to anger both the human rights groups that petitioned against it and Russia, which annexed Crimea in 2014 and has been accused of supporting separatist forces in eastern Ukraine. Conservative defense critic James Bezin said he welcomed the move and noted the process was started under the previous Conservative government. The fact that it took 2 years, from the time the Stephen Harper government initiated the review to the cabinet decision last month, is inconceivable, he said. It should have gone much quicker, Bezin said. There are 39 countries on the control list and the announcement, in the federal government's official publication, noted that the federal cabinet still maintains control over the process. Contractors who strike a deal with Ukraine will have to apply for an export permit, which must be assessed on a case-by-case basis, said the Canada Gazette posting. Each sale must include a so-called end-user and end-use assessment, which spells out who gets the weapons, how they will be employed and that they won't be used against civilians. Ukraine applauds decision. It is a significant decision, an important signal to the international community, said Oleksiy Maklov, the political director of Ukraine's foreign ministry. It's a very practical thing that Ukraine would be able to get, or to buy, firearms which we badly need to defend ourselves, Maklov said in an exclusive interview with CBC News during a visit to Ottawa this week. Oleksiy Maklov, the political director of Ukraine's foreign ministry, in a photo taken this week in Ottawa. Maklov hopes Canada's decision will spur the US to act as well. While we reform our armed forces and we achieved a lot on this path in the last year, we need also to arm our guys and to make further aggressive actions of Russia and Russia-supported gangs in the East harder. We defend our territory. This is a very strong signal to the Russian Federation from Canada, Maklov added. Ukraine has insisted the weapons it intends to buy are defensive in nature, but human rights groups don't buy that argument. Both Project Plowshare and Amnesty International Canada oppose the plan in a written submission to Global Affairs Canada, saying the human rights situation in the country needs to improve. As evidence, they pointed to the tactics used by police under former President Viktor Yanukovych to crack down on protests in 2013 and 2014. Trump hesitation. Washington has been considering weapons sales to Ukraine, and a plan, according to multiple published reports in the U.S., has been sitting on President Donald Trump's desk for weeks unsigned. There has been speculation in the U.S. media that Trump is loath to annoy Russian President Vladimir Putin. Canada is setting a very good example in terms of the ongoing discussions in the United States, in some European countries, demonstrating that Ukraine shall be supported, said Maklov. The U.S. Special Representative to Ukraine, Kurt Volker, recently told Politico there's no reason, in his estimation, to continue the prohibition on lethal weapons sales. The U.S. has defense relationships and arms sales relationships with dozens and dozens and dozens of countries around the world, he told the U.S. publication on November 27. Canada set to sign trade deal, defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine, and there isn't anything compelling that I can see as to why Ukraine should be a special case, why we wouldn't do that, especially when they're actively trying to defend their territory. Canada and the US have thus far only delivered non-lethal aid to the country, which has been battling Russian-backed secessionists in 2 eastern districts since 2014. Ukraine already has a robust arms industry, ranking 77th among the top 100 weapons makers in the world, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. The country has long been interested in more sophisticated Western technology, equipment such as anti-tank weapons, counter-battery artillery radars, and armored patrol vehicles like the U.S.-made Humvees. Ukraine willing to provide the information we have on Trump campaign aid.